Yesterday on the show, we spoke with Martin Groskopf. He is portfolio manager at ACUITY Investment Management about Pure Technologies. It's a company, he said, was poised to benefit from increased spending in Canada's energy sector on infrastructure, safety and maintenance and monitoring. One company he likes is Pure Technologies. Here's what he said about the company.
Pure plays in the space. There's only a few in the world that offer these types of services, and what they're doing is essentially allowing a company to rehabilitate a pipeline as opposed to replacing it. So often the cost savings are quite enormous relative to digging up a pipeline.
Now the stock, you can see it there, it's been on quite a run as of late, and part of the reason is the company's SMARTBALL pipeline monitoring technology. Well, for more on this, we're joined now by the CEO of Pure Technologies. He's CEO and President, Jack Elliott. Thanks for joining us, Jack. Good to speak with you. We sort of got a description of this yesterday, but I'm going to ask you to tell us, this is literally a ball. Is it about the size of a tennis ball? Gets dropped into the pipeline that needs monitoring, and it sort of splashes around and comes out the other end and tells you where the leaks are. Is that it?
Thanks, Pamela. That's one way of describing it.
I'll let you describe it.
It's a very unique little tool. You're correct in that the instrument is the size of a tennis ball. In the case of oil pipelines, it's slightly larger, about the size of a soccer ball. It can roll through the pipeline without interrupting the flow of the product, and it collects information about the condition of the pipeline. Specifically, it can identify and locate pinhole leaks or tiny leaks in the pipeline so that the owner can identify them at a very early stage and deal with them rather than have them become a major issue.
And when you're talking about the owners of pipelines, these are the pipeline companies that are running these. Tell us the state of aging infrastructure in Canada and in North America generally, and I guess therefore the opportunities that may lie within there for how big the market for this is.
Well, currently our business is heavily weighted towards water pipelines. We do about 70% of our revenues inspecting water and wastewater pipelines. And in the water sector, there is a $3 trillion gap between what is needed to bring buried infrastructure up to what might be considered a B grade by the American Society of Civil Engineers. It's currently rated as a D grade. So there's a huge challenge ahead of the utilities to deal with deteriorating infrastructure, and we have developed techniques and solutions to help owners deal with that gap cost effectively.
And about 7% of your revenue right now, I think, is coming more from the monitoring side and so on. So you expect this to have sort of an explosion?
Yeah, so we see a lot of upside potential in the oil and gas sector. Currently, that accounts for about 7% of our overall revenues. We've been running SMARTBALL in oil pipelines for the last few years, and it's becoming, I think, a more accepted way of complementing other integrity techniques that are used in the industry. It's very easy to deploy. The information can be generated very quickly from the analysis, and it gives owners confidence that they don't have leaks in their pipelines.
Are there other things that it would monitor a pipeline for? What else could go wrong that it might be able to pick up?
Yeah, so we've enhanced the technology over the last year or so to give it increased capability. So in addition to detecting leaks, it can also highlight areas of the pipeline that might be structurally inadequate, and that will help the owner to go there and address the problems in a very focused manner rather than worrying about the entire length of the pipeline, and give them advance warning of potential problems in the future.
What do they do right now, generally speaking? Would they be worrying about a larger piece of the pipeline, as you said there?
It depends on the type of pipeline. For the larger pipelines, they have inline inspection tools called PIGs. These are instrumented tools that run through the pipeline typically every 5 years. They're used on the larger transmission lines. In addition, they have comprehensive above-ground survey techniques to identify potential areas of where corrosion might occur. But at the moment, they don't have any direct means other than SMARTBALL to identify whether or not there's a leak in the pipeline. So we see this as complementary to existing techniques in that sector. There is a large inventory of pipeline that cannot accept these tools because they're not built to introduce the tools into the pipeline, and in those cases SMARTBALL is a very effective way of understanding what's happening in the pipeline.
You spend a lot on R&D, roughly $4 million a year on it. Obviously some of it has gone into this. What else are you working on?
Well, we have a range of platforms for inspecting pipelines, particularly in the water and wastewater sector. A device called Pipe Diver, which is a flexible inline inspection tool that can be introduced into a water pipeline and can pass through valves, etc., collecting information from different instrumentation on board. We have recently introduced an asset management software package called PureNet, which will help us to assist owners in managing their buried infrastructure. So we have a range of solutions. We also provide specialized engineering expertise to the owners to help them develop remediation and rehabilitation projects.
Very interesting, Jack. Thank you very much for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
That's Jack Elliott. He is president. He's also CEO of Pure Technologies.